Tom Vassel's top 100 games of all time.
Mike Delisio, bravissimo, sporadically bored, but never pianissimo.
Zee Share, voice of the people.
The goodest of mornings to you all. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Mike Delisio.
I'm Zee Garcia.
Welcome as we continue to go through the top 100 games of all time as we are in our mid 40 and bottom 50.
Watch your mouth. Oh. I apologize.
You're not in your mid 40s yet.
That's why I said watch your mouth.
You're a youngin'.
I am very young.
Yeah?
Spry.
Oh.
No, you hit 40 and at that point you're no longer spry.
Yeah. Spry's in the rearview window there. You need to... That's the last only way you're seeing Spry.
Your best hope is to just hang out with spry people.
Be fair. Your
or
best,
old people.
Your best days are behind
Do
you.
you need me to get up and get that for you? Watch this. You just stand up and walk over.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I'll pay for it later that night as I ice my back. Just stand up, he says. What's wrong with you?
We want to say thank you to some of our Kickstarter backers from last year. We want to say thanks to Kyle Roth, to Glenn Jingleman,
Glenn Jingleman?
who apparently you sang his name one year.
I did?
That's what he said.
100% we would sing that.
I
Mike.
would, yeah.
His name is Glenn Jingleman.
It's pretty good. You got to come up with a jingle, yeah.
Picca, Anton Sai, Kyle Nichols and Alex De La Cruz, Stuart and Carrie in New Zealand, Patty and Tom Grieve, Ali Matonen from the BAP gaming community in Tampere, Finland,
Another Finland.
to
Oh.
Philip Kirchik, to Bart Mersix, Dagmar and the Slimbo board game group,
Slimbo.
and Jimmy Johnny Baziuchevic.
Yeah, you just could put it down before you ask to
walk
evaluate
away.
whether it was
You
even in the
put it-
ballpark.
You pull the pin, you put it down, and you walk away from that.
That's right.
If you enjoy our show and you'd like to see us continue to do this, check it out. Dice Tower Kickstarter is running right now. You can check out the link, dicetowerkickstarter.com. We have not yet hit our funding goal, but we hope that we can. You could easily make that happen with a $75,000 pledge.
Right. Let's do it during this stream.
Actually, you need a $66,000 pledge.
Just go ahead with the 72. Just do that.
Yeah, round
I'm
up.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Round up.
Yes.
But anywho, we're in the top 100 games, and this is where the movements happens in these mid 40s. It really does. The games come up, games go down.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
Sure, yeah. I've got a couple of new games, I think, in this batch. I do. Actually, I've got a number of new games in this batch. New to the list. Not always new games.
How
but
about
yeah.
this? I have 3 new games in this batch, but none are new.
Okay, how about this? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new games in this list, and most of them are new, not all.
Wow.
Newish. Newish, within the last 2 years.
How many of them would you say are...
Modern classics? Well, it might be too early for that.
I was going to say trick-taking Renaissance.
I don't know if I have any of the trick-taking Renaissance
Last night
in
Mike
this
taught me how
list.
to bowl.
I did.
He schooled us.
Yeah.
He schooled us.
So dumb.
Look, no, it's fantastic.
Is that in your top 100 games of all time?
Not yet. Not yet, baby.
That game is
dumb.
better than Viking Seesaw.
Oh, 100%. But I could say that about a freshly laid poopy on the side of the road.
Haters gon' hate.
Alrighty, well, here we go with number 60.
Hey, this is Justin Jacobson, the board game necromancer. Tom said I was doing number 60, and I didn't realize Mike Delisio was that old, but 60 it is.
Oh! Wow, that's shots fired from somebody that has quite a bit of gray hair showing in that video. I'm
Wait, is
just
that what
going to
that was?
say.
That was hair? I thought he was wearing a very fine shawl. Is that what that's called?
What?
A shawl?
Yes, I guess. A hairy shawl?
He does have, like, all his hair is white, and it
Yeah.
definitely looks better than, like, I have a few white hairs.
Right,
And it's just
right.
like a mess. I'm just like, ugh, go one way or the other, man. Figure it out, Beard.
Yeah, that is true. Justin's a great guy. He can call me old, whatever. It's an obvious joke. All right. My number 60 is new to the list, and it is a new game, and it's a game that both of my compatriots here also like. I don't think it'll be on your top 100.
Not yet.
At least maybe not yet, but it is Life of the Amazonia. This is a bag building game, and it's one where you are creating your own little kind of habitat in front of you. And you're doing this by, as I said, building up your bag with different resources, money, or they've got like the leaves and things along those lines. And you're doing it to get unique animals that you are going to place within your, there you go, you can see the little habitat there with some of the animals. And these animals all have different scoring conditions. So I think of this game as a mixture of Cascadia with bag building. Basically, it's Cascadia with bag building, maybe a little bit higher in complexity, but not much. Really nice, obviously, production, but even taking the production out of the mix, which is hard to do because it's gorgeous, the gameplay, the roots, the meat of the mechanics are really solid. That little waterfall there, which I know Tom doesn't like because he thinks it's a pain to put together, but whatever. That's actually tracks, which I like tracks that give you bonuses.
As a side note, if someone has a file where you can print out a board of that,
Yeah,
you can use at a waterfall, I'll gladly take one of
sure,
those.
sure, because
Like
really,
a flat thing, you mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
laminate it, and then that's the same thing.
yeah. Regardless, I don't find it that much of a chore to put it together, but it's a beautiful game. It's a solid game at its heart. It's more than just its looks, and I have introduced this to a lot of different people, and it's always gone over well. I don't think I've played this with anybody who at least said they disliked it, right? But I've actually done it most with people I know who would feel comfortable saying, Mike, this is garbage. So
Yeah, as I say, I obviously play with a lot of safe groups.
Yes.
People have no problem telling me what they think of the games.
Correct. So Life of the Amazonia, I do believe that now, this was a Kickstarter, but I believe it's now retail. You can get it at different locations. So Life of the Amazonia, great game.
I like it. It's missed my my listing.
Yeah,
It's there. It's good. It just hasn't hit the top.
Yeah, I like it. I like it as well. My number 60 was 34 last year. And this is the final one you're going to see from the GIF series of games and the one I rank the highest. I've already had 2 games from that series on here. I had Czar at 98. I had Devon at 95. And number 60 is Yinch.
The color one didn't make it.
The color one.
Oh, color disc. I can't remember the name of
The
it.
red
Yeah,
discs.
I forgot what it's called. It's the newest one. That didn't make it, no.
Oh, I see. You had one with red discs. One of you did.
He did. That's Devon. This was the only one that made my list.
I see.
Yeah, this one is sort of the de facto most popular, simplest one to understand and get into. Mm-hmm. It really is sort of X in a row meets reverse. What's that? Reversi, the Othello.
So, yeah.
You're moving around these discs. Anything you jump over will flip colors. So if you jump over a nice long line of your opponent's color, whoop, they're suddenly all yours. And if you get 5 of those of your own color in a row, you pick them up, and you're one step closer to winning. The really fun twist then happens right after that, in which you have to remove one of your rings from the board every time you score a line, making your position on the board weaker. And so the closer you get to winning, you have to do it 3 times. The weaker your presence is on the board, it's this really fun, very natural catch-up mechanism. You know?
Okay.
It's so elegant, it's so clean. One of the absolute best abstract games ever made, in my opinion. That's Yinch.
Does it always come down to each person needing that one last ring?
It gets close. It's almost always that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have more GIF games on your list so far than Cathala games?
I doubt it.
Okay.
There's only 3 of these in here. So.
All right.
And
Yeah,
2.5
I doubt
Catalas. All right. He has 3 Faduti games, if you remember. I am keeping track of that.
Okay.
And all those Faduti games have Catala in them. So right there. Boom.
Exactly.
No, not Citadels.
That's right. That's true. Yeah. Okay.
All right, my number 60 debuted when I first started doing this back in 2005 at 69, and now it is 60, even though for the past 2 years it fell off the list. But a new horror version of it came out this year.
Oh, Trump Fabric. Or
Yeah,
Dream
or
Factory.
Hollywood. What cover did I put in here?
Did you put the
Nightmare Productions. Okay, this is the new version of it. I don't know if I would call this the definitive version. I still don't know. I'm still kind of happy with my Trump Fabric with the paste ups. I really do.
I like the Hollywood Golden Ages version, probably the Spanish one.
But I like this version. But
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
the whole concept. You're making movies and you're betting, but it's a closed economy, which makes no sense in real life. But in the game, it's
Sure.
fun.
Yeah.
You give the money that you bid gets split between all the other players. So eventually, you're going to win an auction, and then you're trying to make the best movies that you can, or occasionally the worst one. I think it's a fun game, and this is the first Reiner Knizia game on my list.
Oh, okay.
There may be more than one.
Oh.
This is
So,
such a. I haven't played this edition of the game, but it's such a good fit
Yeah, it is.
for that game. It's such a good re-theme.
I only.
Yeah.
It feels like they fell down in the last lap. It's good.
I agree.
It just could have been so much better.
with the kind of like the titling stuff.
Yeah.
That's all really it's
They
lacking
could have done
in.
some really cool stuff. Even to the effect that they could have just been like guy with slasher hands.
Yeah, yeah.
But instead, it's kind of like mummy, goblin.
Yeah, they
It's
could
just
have
not
done
as
more.
they. I feel like they really. I mean, it's good.
It is.
It's just not. I'm still. If you say what's the best version, I might just play one. They're all good.
They're all good.
But there's not a definitive one out there.
Okay.
All right, the People's Choice, number 60, is brand new to the list.
Whoa.
However, it is a younger sibling of a game that was already on the list, and it knocked off the space version. No more Clank in space. I was very surprised that number 60 is Clank Catacombs.
Wow.
I'm not
very
surprised by
nice.
that. I'm not surprised.
This one has been getting pretty good reactions because it takes Clank and adds that exploration
Yeah.
to the game, which really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And it makes sense too.
It also makes it so that you don't feel like you have to keep buying expansions because this is going to be a different map every time. I mean,
Oh, so they're not making any more expansions?
no. But they might. But you know, the original Clank, there's like
There
15
are.
maps, and if I want to play one of those, I'm like, I got to get these maps out. They haven't made an expansion for this yet. I think they announced one, and I'm excited about that because it will just add more tiles. Sure. And that works for me. More tiles, and it's easy to put in and play, rather than pull out the map and find the pieces for that map. But
Right.
I like this. I just like the whole idea of I go down this tunnel and it feels more like in Clank, you might have the optimal path lined up if you really
Yeah.
wanted to think about it. Here, you have no idea when stuff's going to show up.
Okay.
So, but they still have
good.
the rarer artifacts show up later. I mean, they do a good job of you
Sure.
feeling like you have to explore to find stuff, but it works well.
Nice.
Your number 60.
Hello, I'm Adrien, and I'm happy to introduce number 59.
Nice.
Ooh.
Thanks, Days of Wonder.
That's slick.
Those are Ticket to Ride trains, Tom.
What?
Yeah. You didn't catch that?
Is your 59 ticket to ride?
It's not, sadly.
This has not happened yet. If it happens, it'll be a
That'd be
super
amazing.
coincidence.
I know. Well, I had Ticket to Ride on my list.
My number 59 is down 16 spots, but
Ooh.
it's still a new game.
away.
And it's going to, I don't think it's going anywhere from my list anytime soon. It is Wayfarers of the South Tigris. Wayfarers of the South Tigris is the second to most recent. The Scholars is the most recent. Wayfarers is a game where you are kind of like cartographers. You're mapping out this region, and you're doing this through playing cards to a personal tableau, right? So you've got land cards to the left, sea cards to the right
of you.
and then above you've got the space.
Stuck in the middle. Yeah.
Stuck in the middle with you. That's correct. And so this is a game, this whole series, the South Tigris series, is going to be a trilogy, is based around dice. Okay, so sometimes they do worker placement or whatever, but this is based around dice. And Wayfarer Wayfarers has a really clever dice system where the die values, you're going to be building up powers that you get based upon the die values that you're placing there. So it's a dynamic system where, depending upon how you set your little personal area up, a particular number can trigger a bunch of things to happen.
I like that.
Or you can make it so it's diverse, so that everything gives you a little something, so that you're getting a little bit more than you would normally. Or you can go heavy into one or two numbers and just make those super powerful.
You've not played this one.
No.
Yeah,
It sounds a little bit like Old West Impresario, though.
It's probably a bit heavier than that.
Sure, no, of
yeah,
course, I'm sure
and
it is.
and you, if I remember correctly, had some issues with the iconography and the amount of icons and scholars, and you'll certainly find that here too.
Yeah, I
There's
just
a
thought
less
that they,
right
these
there,
guys
I
have
thought.
always had really good iconography.
Yeah.
They're very clean, very simple. And I thought the last one, the new one that I played recently, I thought they needed so many icons that they had to kind of reach.
I gotcha.
And be a little anachronistic with some of their choices. Like, wait, this doesn't seem in the same realm anymore.
Right.
This one sounds really interesting, and I like the. There were some cards there that had planets and shooting stars.
Yeah, I really
this is
like that
this
part of it.
cool. This looks cool.
Yeah.
Cooler than the average theme in this line.
Right.
This is 114 for the people.
Oh wow, that's pretty good for a couple of
Yeah,
years
it was
old.
127 the previous year, so it's
Okay.
moving up. I don't know if it will hit the top 100.
Yeah, maybe not, but it's really really good. And again, who knows? I'd be interested if you do play it to see what you think.
Yeah, I like to try it.
Number 59, Wayfarers of the South Tigris.
All right, my number 59 was 65 last year, so about the same place. It's a two-player card game with a kind of trading theme, buying things, selling things. This is Asante, which is kind of a reworking of Jambo. A re-implementation, reworking of Jambo.
Jumbo. Sorry.
So I'm putting this one on here because A, it's newer. There's a slightly better chance, I guess, you could come across it. I also think it's sort of in a Dune kind of way. What's the new one? Dune.
Uprising.
Yeah, in a Dune Uprising kind of way.
Yeah.
It takes Jambo and goes, all right, well, this is sort of 1.5, you know? Though they are different cards. You can actually mix and match this stuff.
Yeah.
I like this one because it has a really nice push and pull as a two-player game. It's very mean. Be aware of that. There's a lot of cards in there where you'll take your opponent's stuff. You'll stop them from being able to do things. That sort of action is very possible. But the main idea is a race to make a certain amount of money. And you're buying goods cheaply, converting them if you need to, manipulating what you've got, and then selling them at a profit. That's the main thing you'll do. Give yourself special abilities, and try to build a little engine. Really like this one. I love the setting. I love the artwork. It's spectacular. And it's just a fun sort of chugging along kind of feel. That feeling of sometimes you're like, I'm making great progress. Sometimes you get stuck in a rut and you see your opponent kind of make money a few rounds in a row and you're like, oh boy, I'm kind of falling behind. I love that feeling, that push and pull. Really fun stuff. Asante, great game. 59.
Do we have any notion on how in print these Cosmos two-player line games are? It'd be very interesting if they kind of went through, and maybe not all of them. Like you can keep Crocodile Pool Party out and stuff like that, but like their bigger Cosmos two-player line, maybe keeping the box size because I like the small boxes.
They reprint them.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Well, Lost Cities, they just reprinted a few years
That's
ago.
true, yeah.
And then they did the Lancaster, the 30-year war, well, not the 30-year war, the War of the Roses.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever that one's
okay.
called. It's called
Rose King?
Yeah,
Rosenkronig.
They printed that one. The one I'm surprised is Balloon Cup, but I wonder that Balloon Cup, I've seen it printed like Pinata, so maybe they don't have the rights to that anymore.
That could be.
And they are reprinting this year. They're reprinting Starship Catan, but they're printing it in a very different box size.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I would love to see this come back into print.
And Targi's in print.
Okay, good. Yeah, I figured Targi would be in print, but it was out of print for a little while.
Yeah.
Oh, Crocodile Pool Party. May that burn in the seventh ring of... Anyway, my number 59 has been on my list for 5 years, and it moved up from 75 last year. And I hesitate to talk about this game a lot just because I know it's not easy for people to get right now. And that is Aquatica. This is a Dice Tower Essential, and man, I love everything about this game, from the theming of it, the cover. I love that cover. I love the theming of the Deep Water Kingdoms. Very similar to Abyss, maybe, in many ways.
Yeah, right.
I love the idea of playing the cards, very like Bruno Catala-esque, where you play a card and then you pick all your cards back up. It's like Mission Red Planet. And then the way you get these cards and then slide them up in your board as you complete different sections of them. And then the little plastic mana rays, which you use for bonuses. It's a fun game. It
really is.
Really just cool stuff going on all throughout the game. So I don't know that you can get it easily right now, but you can come to a Dice Tower convention and play it there.
The expansion.
So there's that.
The expansion's really good too. The Cold
Yeah, I
Waters.
really, really enjoy this one. But just world disruptions have kept it from being reprinted. So, but if you can find a copy of it, you definitely want to get it. I like it a
really
lot.
good.
It's very good.
Your number 59 at People's Choice has also been on the list for 5 years and moved up one spot from last year, 60 to 59.
Oh, wow.
This is a very popular game from Delicious Games, and that is Underwater Cities.
Ah, wasn't this the first Delicious Games title?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he launched it with this.
so.
Almost too high of a note.
Yeah.
We should have launched one of the other ones because
Right.
none of them has yet to have the success of this one.
No.
This game in which you are, well, building an underwater city and kind of worker placement, but also card management. Has some similarities to terraforming Mars. It has some similarities to, I don't know, it's a big crunchy Euro. And people like it.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit, but I never came back, right? I did like the card system a lot.
Well, it wasn't made by Garfield.
It doesn't matter. It's not a Garfield game. It's a Suchi game.
Yeah, we know.
I've
number
already
59
had a
for
Suchi
you.
game on my list. All right.
Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Melissa, and we're from Tantrum House.
and we are bringing you the number 58, which is so much better than 59, right?
Definitely.
What
Now,
studio was it,
that's what I was
though?
going to ask. I'm like, I don't know what studio they were in.
Okay, I know who they are, but is that
Right.
Studio 2? It's not Studio 3, I know
We
that.
are, because that was clearly a different studio than 3.
Oh, I need to know this.
Yeah, that's the.
We don't number our studios. What studio is this?
This is Studio 4.
Oh, okay.
Studio 56.
I do like that.
54. Studio 54. Close enough.
All right, what's your number 58?
My number 58 is new to my list, but boy, let me tell you, it's not a new game. Hey, you like auctions? You like 4 different types of auctions? You like modern art. Here we go. Modern art is a...
But you've never had Modern Art on your list
I have
before?
not had modern art on my list, and I think
What happened?
playing
You just
it...
realized it was a Knizia game? But-
No. Playing it more recently, that's usually how the older games get on my list, is I go through and I play them. I'm like, you know what? I really want to play this again, so I end up playing it with a
That
few
does
different
happen,
groups.
that's true.
And so modern art is very much a pure auction game, but it's 4 different types of auctions. And so if you like auction games, this is really great because you're getting 4 different flavors of it in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Very simple rules. And this one is very interactive, right? And so kind of you're playing the players as much as you're playing the game, those types of things. Really like modern art quite a bit. This is the one you can get right now, right? The CMON version, maybe?
I don't
I
know.
think so.
You might be
this
better
game
off
also-
buying a foreign version.
Yeah,
There's so
yeah.
many of them.
Yeah, this game has also been printed. Probably one of the most. It's one of the most printed games
Yes.
ever. Probably.
Right.
I mean, especially a designer game.
Absolutely, and some of the foreign editions are gorgeous too, like the
Sure.
Dice Tree. Is that the one we have in the library with the big wooden gavel?
I don't know.
I think that's Dice Tree, right?
Yeah.
I think we have that version.
Yeah.
This is one where I disagree with you. I think
I
this
know, you
game
don't
has
like it.
aged out.
No way.
I really do.
What about it has aged? I'm being serious.
Because I think he has made better auction games. I think it's too free form and too open.
Okay.
That everyone who plays it has to find a very specific. Thank you, Benny, for the super chat. Everyone has to find a very specific. You have to know what you're doing when you play it to a point.
That is true, and I even agree that he's made better auction games. I mean, I absolutely agree with that. But why this I think is unique is that it's that 4 different types of auctions. I love that. That's really the hook for me for this.
I get it. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad game.
No,
I just don't think it's
agree
for
to
me
disagree.
as well, aged as well. Also, your opinion's trash.
No, my opinion is unassailable. Unassailable.
Let's disagree
I will
to
assail
agree.
your opinion all day long.
I dare you to
Okay,
assail.
let's stop the assailing.
You want me to assail. You need me to assail. My number 58, modern art.
My number 58 was 72 last year, so it's back up. But it's been in my top 10. It's a party game. It is the only game that I know has a quote from me on the back of the box, and is also not attributed to me, that quote.
Random user.
Random BGG guy.
Yep.
Compatibility is my number 58.
I don't believe you were reviewing games at that point anyway.
No. It's just random.
Super
yeah.
chat. Thank you, Andy. And
Thank
there was
you.
another one.
Humberto.
Thank you.
Compatibility is a very simple game in which you are given a topic. You have a deck of cards that have images and words sometimes, colors just sometimes. Everybody has an identical deck, and I might, we flip over a common card that says attractive. And so you look through your deck and you
For the
find,
picture
okay,
of Mike DeLisio.
there's a Mike DeLisio picture there. Okay, this is there's a lovely couple here. Okay, that's a wonderful looking car. They have a Ferrari. Okay, and so you sort those things. The top 5 associations with that word, you sort them from strongest association to weakest, and you try to match with your partner. If you have a direct match, my number 1 is your number 1. You get 3 points for that, and you move on a track. If it's still a match but not head-to-head match, then you get 2 points or whatever. And that's it. You try to get to the end of this track, and you flip over a new topic, do it again. I really like this because I love, again, it has that sort of what were you thinking feel. It's one of the earliest games that did that thing. I think a lot of games do it now, to be fair. But I love that, explaining why that one. Ooh, I feel good about this one. We're gonna get this one. It has all those great ups and downs, but it's a very relaxed party game. It's like a chill evening kind of party game.
Okay.
You can take your time. You can converse. And then you do your reveal. You laugh a little bit. You're like, oh my gosh, I thought about it, but I didn't pick it. Ha ha ha. And then you do the next one. It's fun and pleasant and smooth, and I love everything. Everything it sort of brings to the table. So my 58, compatibility, lovely game, one that I'm going to hang on to for a long, long time.
I need to ask you, do you know what your quote from the back of the box was?
I don't know. It's my BGG comment.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you remembered it.
I don't remember.
Also, I love the quote on the front of the box, but okay.
What's the quote on the front?
It's arguably the best game of the decade. You could put that on the front of every box cover.
I love that.
Arguably, yeah, that's pretty good, I know. Some have said nothing is better than this.
All right, my number 58 has been on the list for 6 years straight. Bounces around. It was 38 last year, but I don't know. I just really enjoy this sandbox game, and I match up with the people because it was already on their list. And that is Western Legends. I am a big fan of the Wild Wild West,
me too.
at least the fantasy Wild West.
The Wild Wild West.
And I think there's not enough good games about it.
There are not. Still.
The Wild
Wild West. Yes, there's not enough good games about it. I mean, we just played a new one, me and Joey, I forget what it's called, that was, tried to do the same thing as Sam, and I was so excited to play it, and it's just not as good as Western Legends.
Yeah.
Now, Western Legends does clunk down a bit with the expansions, I think. There's some good stuff, robbing a train, but there's also a lot of extra. I think it's fine as is out of the box, or if nothing else, get more cards for the stores or whatever. That's fine.
Okay.
But I like this game. It gives me fun options. And I love the fact that you can be like, I'm going to be an outlaw. And halfway through the game, you're like, I've seen the light. I'll be good now. And that's just fun.
And you don't find yourself going for one more than the other? Like, are you always an outlaw at the beginning of the game?
Nah, I always do what I feel like doing. Sometimes I will arrest the guy who just robbed the bank.
Right.
And then rob the bank the next turn.
Yeah, that's great.
Like,
Get some tips from him.
That's right.
How dare you? How did you do it? No, really, how did you do
I
it?
need to know exactly how you did it.
So there you go. That's my number 58. The People's Choice 58 has also been on the list for 5 years, and I'm impressed that this one makes the list because, It's a Stonemaier game that doesn't get talked about as much as the big ones, right?
Okay.
And this is Tapestry.
Yeah, well, this is one of my favorite of Stonemeier's games.
And I am impressed with this doing so well because it is a, for all intents and purposes, fairly themeless Civ game.
It's a Civilization-themed game. It's not a Civ game.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And it's clearly imbalanced with the powers to the point where he just released a pack of Civs to fix not just the powers in this game, but the ones in the expansions.
Yeah.
And yet people still like it because it's just fun and it does what people want to do, and that's move up tracks.
Move up tracks.
People like moving up tracks.
And yeah, and it does give you, one thing that it does give you a nice Civ feel is you do feel a sense of progression throughout the game. Now, thematically, it's completely off tracks, where you may be discovering, the telephone before, you know what I'm getting at.
Just so sort of not...
I will say, though, I said the same thing in the review, and then someone sent me a short story that was written, and I forget the name of it, that I went and read, where like, who would discover this before that?
Yeah.
But there's a short story I read one time where, like, teleportation between planets is obviously something super simple, and yet humans never discovered it. And we finally discover it. We go to other planets, and they're like cavemen, and we're like, whoa, just destroying them.
Okay.
Because they all discovered teleportation first. They show up at our planet, they're like, oh no. So, I mean, you could make those arguments
I suppose
to
so.
some degree.
Yeah.
That's a weird sounding story.
I really liked it, actually.
A short story?
Yeah, it's a short story. Basically, the moral was, oh no, humans have teleportation. What will they do with it?
Okay, if anybody knows what it's called,
Well,
put it in the chat.
Their next book was 50 Shades of Grey, which was a real departure from this one.
Okay, that joke just
No?
went off into the atmosphere. That's a tapestry joke.
That is a tapestry joke.
But anyway, this game, I think there's some weird things about it. There is the fact that it ends, Mike can end his turn before
Yep.
me. There's all these different things, and yet it's still just fun to play.
Yeah.
I was really divided in my review because I could be like, prom, and I still like playing it.
Yep.
It's kind of a weird mix, and I know people really enjoy it.
I'm curious now that it's been a long time. He just released some updated, I guess, balanced stuff. I do wonder if now is the time to jump back into and try this one. It's like a Cyberpunk 2077 kind of situation. Is it ready now?
Well, he also said that the second expansion.
The second expansion is fantastic. It adds
I've
a
not
new.
played
No, I
it.
just want to play the base
adds a
game
new
again.
track,
It's been
but-
ages.
Yeah,
It's been
yeah.
out since it came out.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So I wonder if
It's very.
are the
good.
new versions going to include those powers going forward? Or do I have to get like the base box
that's
and the
interesting.
updated powers? I wonder, you know
Well,
what I
I've
mean?
ordered the updated powers, so we'll see when they should be shipped soon, I guess.
Yeah, I believe he said future printings are going to have the updated powers.
I'm also curious. The third expansion for this has fantasy.
It's
and,
just it's just a little deck of cards.
yeah, I like that concept.
Fantasy?
Like the Atlantean race. Things
Yeah.
like that.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, there you go.
Okay.
That's your number 58.
Hi everyone. Have a great 2024 with lots of games and 7 more points. That puts me at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 57.
What was that game?
It was Apiary.
Got it.
You like how Lou's
That looked a little like Tapestry.
You like how you put a little flex in there? Oh, I'm in the lead. 57.
I have the brand new apiary.
Yeah, right?
Well, a lot of people have that.
No, he recorded that in 2021.
Oh,
I'm wearing a checkered shirt. Nice, Dave. Okay,
I
we get it.
discovered chess.
I teleported here. My number 57 is down 18 points. Places. I keep saying points. Anyway, it's a cooperative game that does it differently, and that's why I really like Paleo, is that this is a cooperative game that really gives you kind of an interesting sense of exploration, which I don't think you often see in cooperative games. Sometimes you'll see it in like the, maybe like in the Arkham games where you're going to go, you know what I mean, to a new place. But this one has this feeling of, I know based on the back of the deck what I'm more likely to see.
Sure.
Right? But it's just that there's more of this type in this deck, but you don't know exactly.
You don't know.
And so I do like this kind of feeling of, yeah, I know I'm more likely to get this one, but there's still a little bit of a push your luck thing going on. I like how this has a very natural cooperation. You know, in some cooperative games, it's basically just who's got the loudest voice, right? And in this one, no, it really is a matter of I can give you this card to help you out, right? And that's a natural cooperation point. It has a nice kind of modularity to it too, where you're having different types of decks that you can combine, and they give you all kinds of suggestions in the rule book, but you don't even necessarily have to follow those. You can just combine decks and see kind of how it works out. They've continued to support this with one full expansion and then 2 mini expansions just to add new stuff. The White Whale, I think, was in Essen this year, and I haven't played with that yet.
Did you get
I
did.
It's just a little deck.
Yeah, I did not get any of that. I should have.
Yeah, so Paleo, it's still one that I come back to at least a couple times a year to play.
Yeah, I do
like
that it's got a different rhythm than most cooperative games that do a good thing, then do a bad thing.
Right.
This one actually has a very, very different cadence. You know, it's different. It's its own thing.
Yes.
It's 192
Okay.
That's pretty good
on
staying
the
power,
People's Choice, just above Apiary.
Really?
Go figure.
Apiary already, huh?
No, that's
My
wild, right?
goodness.
Yeah, well, what do you do?
My 57 is brand new to the list, brand new to the planet. Planet Earth. Earth.
Oh!
Thank you for that.
Just making sure we understand what's
Very
happening.
nice.
One of my goals is to go to this spot, by the way.
Is that in Iceland?
Yeah, I want to go back to Iceland, really. It's the only.
Yeah, no,
Again,
I'm there.
I think
also
we need
would
to
like
make
to
this
go to
happen.
the spot or any spot in Iceland.
I would as well, as someone who's never been.
Good luck, okay?
Yeah, we'll think about you.
I'll send you a picture from the spot.
Let's add a stretch goal right now.
Going to Iceland?
Sending me to Iceland.
Oh, jeez.
Fine, our $1 million stretch goal will be.
Yes,
goes to
people, let's
Iceland.
make it happen.
Mike really wants to go to Iceland.
I really want to go to Iceland.
Iceland, yes. Earth is everything I wanted several other games that came out recently to be.
Yep.
Things like Ark Nova. You know, being the big one, really. I was like, Ark Nova's good. Ark Nova was too long, I thought. A little overwrought, I thought.
It's so funny, I had the same word in my head.
And Earth just manages to give me that feeling of that game, the Terraforming Mars, the card game, anything that has this sort of crunchy card game vibe happening. Earth gives me a full experience. There's plenty to do, lots to think about, and it does it in a fraction of the time without losing too much. I'm doing my thing simultaneously with you, so I'm not really sort of invested in what you're doing too much, but that's okay. I still feel like I'm getting a full experience. I really like this one. I'm not normally a fan of a lot of things this game does. Real pictures. I'm not normally a fan of that. You know, I want artwork. And in this one, I don't mind. The minutia.
I still wish they had drawings. I do.
Yeah. I like it.
I don't know, I
think
kinda
it's
like it.
fine. It kind of works for this one for me. The minutia sometimes, getting hung up on the minutia. I don't normally like that too much. I like it in this game, all the little things. Yeah, I enjoy it. This is a great game. This one deserves that's a weird thing to say, but I think I'm glad and it makes sense that it's gotten as popular as it has. You know. So for me, 57, Earth.
Right.
What's it on the people's list?
Coming up.
Well, we'll see. My number 57 it's the second year on the list last year. It debuted at 29. So dropped down a bit, but that's because other Civ games have come out. But I still enjoy Mosaic.
Oh, wow.
Mosaic.
Yeah.
So this one, if you want this game, you might want to get it, because I don't know what's going on with university games
there's
and
a little,
what have you. But this game, which looks like a big, grandiose game, and there's some bigness to it. The biggest negative to the game is it takes a bit to set up all those little tokens on the board. But once you get going, it's super quick, snappy turns. I love that.
That's the best aspect of the game.
It really is. There's so many things you can do, and every turn feels great. If you're like, I'm going to get resources this turn, you get a dump truck of resources. You know, if you want to build a wonder of the world, that's just fun to do. You know, and you have the plastic figurine. You're like, I have this now. here. I really enjoy this one a lot.
I need to try this. This
I
is
have
going
not.
on the list.
I have not seen the expansion for it. I know that they backed it. Part of it I wasn't interested in, like disasters. I thought, that's the one thing I don't. I always turn those off when I play Civ games.
I would definitely avoid disasters in this game because, like you said, the joy of it
is
the building and the getting stuff.
Bunch of punks.
Yeah.
The joy is wrecking fools' faces.
Well, maybe you want the disasters.
Okay.
And actually, even though they don't say
Can they use it against you also?
I don't know. We
I
haven't
don't know, I haven't played it.
Oh, because if so, then I don't like it. I don't
The one thing I think is neat about the game is not really in the rules, but the cards in the decks. That when they show up, there's a card in each deck, and when a certain number of these cards show up, the game ends.
Right.
You can just raise those a bit if you want to
make
play
it
a
quicker.
shorter game, and it doesn't really affect the game that much. You can also lower them if you want the game to be longer.
Yep.
So I like that aspect. It's a very simple fix for that regard.
Sure.
So that's Mosaic. The People's Choice 57. It's their 4th year of this being on the list. Last year it was 45, so it's dipping a bit, and that's because 800 new games with this theme have come out.
It's about nature.
That's correct.
Meadow?
Cascadia.
Meadow.
No. A simpler game than that. I think this was on your list already, maybe?
Parks?
Parks. Parks. Went from 45 to 57.
Okay.
But I don't think that's, I mean, again, this genre, if you like the national parks, there's many games about this now, including one from this same company. What was that one called?
Oh, you mean Trails. That's like a mini version of Parks.
That's like a little baby version of this, yeah.
But they do play differently,
They do,
and
they do.
I think I wouldn't want to play both, say, the same night or anything.
No.
So, yeah, Parks. So, great art, a lot of cool things about this game, and I expect that it will be on the list in the future.
Yeah.
Hi, Isaac Childers here with number 56, and a friendly reminder to play older games. Yeah, you remember that game you were excited about 2 years ago? Yeah, it's still on your shelf. You played it that one time. It was great, right? Yeah, pull it off your shelf. Play it again. Here you go.
I want a fireplace.
Yeah, right?
Why? It's from Florida.
I know. I want a fireplace.
That puts out ice.
No.
I want an ice place.
Ice place.
Turn the AC in your house up real high.
Oh, and then get a
Around a
fireplace just to
fireplace,
get
you're
that
like,
toasty feel.
I really like that feel.
That's a good feel, actually. Like, crank down the AC and get under the covers.
Yeah.
Just to get that sort of cozy feeling. I'm just saying, if anybody can come up with an ice place, I'm there. I will back your Kickstarter.
Let it go.
I'm going to blow your mind right now.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you've got like a little desk fan, right?
Yes,
or something
I do,
like
yes, I
that.
do.
Open your freezer.
Uh-huh.
Insert desk fan.
Yeah.
Ice place.
Okay. Yeah. My mind
go.
is
Ice to
appropriately
meet you.
blown. My mind is blown.
What's your 56?
My number 56 is down 5 spots, but it is still very high in my list. It's almost into the top half. Formula E is this racing game
Oh my
where
gosh,
you are
Mike.
racing elephants. And you know what's funny? And this is, I'll take ownership of this. I used to be embarrassed to have this on my list. I used to be embarrassed to talk about
Don't
it
worry,
because
I'll
it's so
hold that
ridiculous.
mantle for you.
But I will tell you,
I don't care.
the more people that I have introduced this game to, and the more that they love it, makes me realize that, okay,
Put this on the catch.
people are okay for really dumb racing games if they know that's what they're getting at the beginning. And it's not quite as dumb as I also call
I don't
it,
think
too.
it's dumb. It's pretty random.
It's pretty random, but...
And my big issue with this one, which is I backed this on Kickstarter. I let it go because they had some pretty bad production issues.
It had a couple of production issues, but it's nothing that's been game breaking at all.
It's just annoying enough to
Yeah.
have me not reach for it. You know what I mean?
No, to me this is...
I wouldn't put it in my top 100, but
Okay.
I get it.
Right.
It's a funky game, and if it was.
It's almost exclusively a convention game for me. Like
Okay,
at
that makes
every
sense.
convention
That
we
makes
have,
sense.
someone asks me to teach Formula E. And I'm happy to. It's ridiculous, right? You're racing elephants, and they did get permission to call it Formula E, by the way.
Yeah.
And you're like drinking mango juice to do special moves, and you're putting your elephant on a flying carpet to jump over
I'm
other
definitely there
elements.
if we're drinking mango juice.
Yes,
Mango juice is
you're moving
delicious.
sacred
I'm fairly
cows.
certain you're not drinking mango juice. I believe you're slathering your elephant.
Maybe you are slathering the elephant in
mango juice, because that's what allows you to make a
slide
sideways
through.
move.
Yeah,
You
it's a
can sort of
diagonal
squeeze between two other elephants.
Right.
By being coated in the slipperiest of mango
That's
juices.
grosser than what he said.
Right.
Yeah, let me keep describing it. Right. So what you do is you put the mango juice all over the elephant, get behind the ears.
They've got sacred cows that you can put out there to block the elephants, and then mice can come and scare the cows away. It's chaotic. It's for duty, right? As at least part. The other half of the team is the Sheriff of Nottingham duo. So it's those two and Fiduti that made this.
There's a lot of Fiduti in this top.
There
100.
really
There's
is.
a lot of Fiduti. Fiduti is he's a classic designer. He is.
Oh yeah.
He's a champ.
He is a champ. So my number 56, a very silly but very fun racing game, Formula E. E stands for
Heffalump.
Excellence.
all of the above.
My number 56 is a Reiner Knizia juggernaut.
What? I love everything about this pick.
It was 57 last year, so it's technically moving up.
I love everything about this pick.
It is a racing game. It is a deck building game. It is one of the finest games
This is a great game.
that the good doctor has ever made. It is the quest for El Dorado.
Yes.
And it blows away Formula E. It makes Formula E look like an absolute
Very different
piece
game,
of
sir.
crap.
Very different
It
games.
steps in hella funk doo-doo.
I would not argue with you. This is
This is a wonderful game. It does quite a few things that are very interesting. And you expect that when Reiner Knizia makes a game using a popular mechanism, Brolin Wright, whatever it is, he's done it, you go, okay, what did he do with it? It's usually something interesting. Not always a success. It's not always something tremendous. But it's usually something clever, and it's usually also something streamlined, because he's good at that, right? And I think this one manages to be right there. I love the deck building in this, because like Dominion, there's a bunch of decks available. Unlike Dominion, you can only buy from like 5 of them. And when one of them runs out, whoever would buy next could just buy from anything, take that deck, buy a card of that, and then make that one of the new 5 you can buy from. And so I love that it's sort of every now and then goes, the world is your oyster, and then you're back down to just these 5. It focuses you back in. It forces you to make decisions that are tough. You travel through the jungle. You need specific cards. You have specific abilities you need to work with. It's a great game, and then the expansion went above and beyond, I thought, because it gave you these kind of teleporting points. Like you go in this cavern, come out of this one, and you can pull off some great stuff with that expansion, man. You can really feel like you're far behind, and with a couple of slick moves, bam, you're right back in it. I love that.
Yep.
So yeah, the Quest for El Dorado, great game. The only bad thing about this one is that this is the edition I have, and there is no Vincent Dutrait artwork anywhere in it.
Yes, and now they've made that version available in the United States.
Yeah,
so.
and that sickens me, honestly.
Yeah.
And this is the last Reiner Knizia game on my list for that very reason. It's elephants from here on out.
There we go. I love it.
My number 56 debuted in 2011 at 22, and then fell off the list in 2018, and it's been gone for a while. And I played it this year and remembered how much I like it. I played it because I was proving to Chris how bad the new game from Asmati was, but that Carl Chuddik could still make good games.
Oh, the
So this
GNC. Okay.
Yeah, the whatever that one was called. Innovation, though. I just really love this game. It is such a fun I mean, it looks like trash. It really does.
There is a yellow version, right?
There is a nice
There
yellow
is,
version,
yeah.
yes. And I know every time I say this, people are like, but it's so functional, those things. But you can do both. Ian O'Toole could make innovation look
Oh my gosh,
amazing.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
he's a king of making things like this also look
Attractive, yeah.
So anyway, I do love this game. I love the splaying aspect of it. As silly as it is, I like the...
Gotta splay.
I think it's great with 2 players. I like the first expansion, which is the only one I played, even though I own like 6 of them. I do need to play them, and I know they're coming out with a mega box of this, but I think there's a lot of stuff in the original game and first expansion that I've never really gotten bored with, even that. So a lot of fun. innovation.
Do you prefer that over Glory to Rome, or can you not answer that question?
Oh, I definitely prefer it over Glory to Rome.
Okay.
I like Glory to Rome fine. I mean, there's a lot of cool things about it. In fact, they positively reviewed it before it became famous. Review drop. But innovation just has... I'm a big sucker for Civ and growth and technologies. And
This is
has
much
that.
less chaotic than Glory to Rome. Than Glory to Rome? I think it's... You think it's more?
Innovation's pretty chaotic. But it's chaotic in a fun way for me.
Okay.
All right, the People's Choice, number 56, has been on the list for 3 years. It started in 2018 at 109, then 2012, 112, then 2021, 109. Then finally it came on at 91, 69, 56. This game really has been growing in popularity.
That's very slow burn,
It really
okay.
is.
It came out with a bigger version, expansions and stuff. And this is Grand Austria Hotel.
Oh, wow.
But this is true, though. If you notice, you know what I think part of it is
That cover.
Mayfair going out of business.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think it's made this game more popular because this game is an excellent game. Now, there's a problem with 4 players and the slowness of turns
Okay.
because it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you're player 1, you're like,
Why?
But they fixed that in the expansion, from what I understand. And I liked it despite that, but after I was like, I'm never playing a 4-player game of this again.
What happens with 3 players? How's it go?
1, 2, 3, 4. There's a dummy player. No.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's kind of like a drafting thing. Whoever gets they draft the die first and do it.
Does it have a solo mode where I get to go 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yes.
I'll play that.
Anyway, it's an excellent game, and it's been growing in popularity. A lot of
guess
people talk
so.
about this. So, Grand Austria Hotel.
Hey everyone, I'm Liz Boccolini. This is Murphy. We hope you're enjoying the list. This is number 55.
All righty.
It's a second dog.
That is. You had Alita, and then I didn't catch the name of this dog. I'm going to call it...
Dottie.
Huh?
I don't know what the dog's name was. Did anyone hear it? I missed it.
I didn't catch it.
Can we play it again?
No. I'm going to call it Bobby. All right.
It's not non-Alita.
My number
Battle Angel, I'll call it.
There you go. My number 55 is new to the list. It's a relatively new game, especially for the North American audiences. It is a small little card game, Sea, Salt, and Paper. Man, this game is so good. This is maybe
The
my
dog
most...
name was Murphy, by the way.
Oh, Murphy. There we go. Yeah. This may be the most played game for me over the last year.
Mike Delicio, you are just blowing my mind.
Yeah, this is, and the thing is, again, it doesn't do anything terribly innovative. It's just something about the game is so satisfying, and the one hook is a great hook, right? So the idea is that you are simply set collecting. You are set collecting cards, and you're doing this by usually blind drawing off a deck, which you're thinking, that's got to be terrible. You have 2 discard decks on either side of that draw deck, and you can draw from those 2, which is a nice little thing. But the hook of the game is essentially that there's no set end to a round. Basically, if a player has enough points, 7 points, to be able to end a round, they can call it, all right? But they can push their luck if they think that they're going to have the best hand, even after every other player takes 1 more turn. So if they take a risk, they can call it that way, and then the other players get an extra turn to try to beef up and get as many points as they can. If they still win and they called the end of the round that way, they're going to get more points. They're going to get a color bonus. If they don't, then they're going to not get as many points. That hook is great, and then you throw in a shoot the moon element of 4 mermaids. It's such a satisfying little game. It really is, and you could just set it up and play it so easy.
It has the potato chip feel.
It does.
That's the thing. Like I just saw somebody say, like, oh yeah, between real life plays and online plays, I played like 400 times last year.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Because it has a real potato chip. Shuffle up and do it again.
Let's run it again. Yeah.
Shuffle up and do it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't
So
know.
good.
Mike has been praising this game, and you said you liked it.
I like it. It's not in my top 100. I'm not insane, but I like it.
But my wife played it this Saturday, and she told me
hated
it was super boring.
Yeah, because it's a piece of crap. I hate it.
So now I have to say, is Mike correct or my wife?
I don't know, Tom.
about
Well,
me?
you always go with your
Put me in,
wife,
Coach.
but
Put me
Nah,
in.
her opinions on board games are pretty trash sometimes.
timestamp.
Oh,
What are we at
man.
here?
Oh,
54. Okay.
I'm sending this clip to her.
That's right.
No, about board games.
I'm going to edit that out.
She has a lot of terrible taste. She married me.
See,
touche.
he puts that self-deprecation in there. It ends.
right.
It ends the whole thing. It ends the
Conversation
whole
over.
thing. It's terrific.
Definitive, period.
End the conversation.
Have you played with the extra salt, Z?
I have not yet. I do have it. Mm-hmm. And I believe it fixes the game, but I haven't played with it yet.
It doesn't do. It's just cute.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it won't change anyone's opinion. If you like it, you'll love it.
Bruce says he's never missed when introducing his people. Well, then maybe you should replay it with my wife. Maybe.
There you go.
Because it was a miss. Of course, I think it was. Now, was it Joey who taught? It wasn't Joey who taught her. Someone else.
No, I like this game. I like. Oh, if it was Joey, you got to make sure she plays.
You got to
the
make it right. Make her
correct
play
game.
it correctly. Yeah.
She might have been playing Racco, for all you know. I mean, Joey is not to be trusted.
I think when Joey teaches it, he has you actually fold the cards in the origami shapes.
He's like a goose.
This sounds fun.
All right, my number 55 was 58 last year. These stuck around just about the same places. This is a game I know Mike DeLisio dislikes quite a bit, I think. And this is Last Aurora. Last Aurora is a Euro game meets American-style luck, random stuff.
I don't think it's a Euro game at all.
There's lots of Euro-y things in this. Are you kidding? It's card drafting? You are...
Well, yeah, you use mechanisms. This is straight Ameritrash.
No, I disagree. This has a lot of mechanical things that are very mechanical. You have to collect resources and know when to spend them. You are using your crew to buy cards, so you exhaust them. You then cool them down one step, then cool them down again until they're ready, or you can spend resources to hurry that along. Oh my gosh, yeah. But again, if you think of it as a Euro game, you get to combat, which is what happened to Mike, and you go,
right,
this is a bunch of random crap.
I don't hate the game. I hate the combat.
Yeah.
That's really it. I mean, I would play the game again, but it felt incongruous.
Right, and that's it. And that's okay. You know, I think a lot of people will walk away feeling that way. I know what I'm getting into now when I fire this game up, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people's favorite games are going to be the prickly ones anyway, honestly. The very smooth games tend to have mass appeal.
Right.
But aren't necessarily anyone's favorite game.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This one's a prickly game. It's got some strange bits to it. But I like what's happening. I love the world, and I love the artwork. You are trying to race with marauders and what have you along the way, Mad Max style, trying to make it to this last ship leaving, the Aurora. And if you get there before the ship leaves dock, you jump on there, score in one specific way. If the ship leaves, you still score, but you score different things in the game. You're going to need to survive, so you're scoring instead your forces on the map, how long you're likely to last. I like it. I like what's going on. It's got some neat expansions. It's got some great promos from us, actually. So make sure you check that out. This is a winner in my book, one I'm very happy to bring out and play. 55, Last Aurora.
All right, my number 55 has been on my list for 4 years. Well, actually, it was also on my list briefly in 2005.
Oh, my gosh.
Came in at 99. Well, I've been playing it at conventions all the time.
I think I know what it is.
What is it?
No, it's not.
It's
not.
Vabank.
Okay, yeah, because the one I think would be
It was
much higher.
57 last year, 55. Still love Vabank. I'll play Vabank. At a convention, you was like, what is this game? Play it with me. It's so much fun. The bluffing, just trying to outguess everybody else. That's all it is.
Another
Fedudi game,
by the way.
Right.
This is crazy.
Also, a Leo Colavini game, Tom. You have a Leo Colavini game on your top 100, Tom.
Confirmed. Tom loves Leo Colavini designs.
I really despise them. But you know, it's kind of funny because Leo Colavini has the least theme of pretty much any designer in existence.
Correct.
Like, he actively sucks the theme out of
That
games.
is correct.
He's a gaming leech. But Fedudi...
I'm not going to say correct for that one, okay?
A theming leech, okay. Bruno Fedudi can stick too much theme in games sometimes, and the combination of them is perfection. I don't even know that's correct.
Wow.
It worked
I like
well.
that. I can just imagine what they work like together, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
With Fadudi, like, throwing in a card. And this one, you get to steal people's hands. And then, you know, Colovina goes in there and goes, no.
He just throws it off right out the
Throws
table.
it out and cuts it up.
But he keeps throwing cards in and he wasn't able to stop all of them.
I
is
like
what
that.
happened.
Oh,
All right, anyway,
that.
really, really fun, silly game, Vabank. The People's Choice 55 was 58 last year, 62 the year before that. Also great for conventions and great with 5 players, also good with 3. And that's Nidavellir.
Yeah.
Okay.
This game it keeps staying around, right?
It does.
I'm surprised by the staying power here. I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah, it's
I think
really
people,
good.
I think that coin mechanism, the first time you teach it to people, people go, wait, I can get bigger coins?
Right.
That's amazing.
To me,
I
that
think people
essentially
like it so much.
is the game. I mean, set collection is set collection, although
pretty
I do
straightforward.
like how they have different scoring, types. But to me, the 2 big things about Nidavellir are the coins, brilliant, and the fact that you are going to get a card at every tavern. I think if there was a way that you got locked out, I would hate the game. But you
I see what you're
always
saying, right, get something.
at every tavern. There's 3 taverns.
Well, also those leaders, of which
Yes.
unless you're playing poorly, you're going to get at least one over the course of the game.
You are.
And you have so many options. You're like, wow, every leader seems amazing.
That one's a good and bad because I love what they do. I hate the fact that people will sit there and, what does this do? And everyone's like,
Well, if you teach properly, they don't do that. It's not quite.
Yeah, get Joey in here. He'll figure it out.
Anyway, your number 55, Nidavellir.
it's a good one.
Hi, Jorge Garcia here to introduce number 54, my favorite game. Actually, I have no idea what number 54 is. No one tells me anything.
Who is that guy? I'm
Nice.
lost.
Nice. Oh. Oh, wow. Mike DeLisio, ladies and gentlemen. You're
Thank you.
excused.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Please leave.
My number 54,
It could be his favorite game. I don't know. We'll see.
this number 54 was also number 54 last year, and it's also a crossover with Z Garcia, and it's also very bloody. The Bloody Inn.
There we
Yes.
go, baby. Have you played this, Tom Vassell?
I have. This was a Catchapooza we did.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah,
Good
this
man.
game, to me, the 3 things that make it stand out, and I better come up with 3
But I'm
'cause I
opposed
just
to the
said
murder
that.
and stuff in it. I don't like being the bad guy in games.
I love that.
What? You are
Actually, the
lying to
game,
your
the one thing the
teeth
game
right
is
now.
missing is
Shut up, I'll murder you.
Okay.
yeah. The one thing the game is missing is it needs more murder. So
The
Have you
bloody
played-
end. Now
have you
with
played
more
with the
murder.
expansion
no, you
to
ask me
this,
that
Mike?
every year. I still haven't played the Carnies.
I am going to bring this with me on
Yeah,
the cruise.
that would be awesome. Let's do it.
This is not in the library, is it?
Bloody End is, yes. Oh, wait. Was this one of the games that we wondered if it was in the library and not?
We're making a list next week. I need to know whether this is in our library or not.
I kind of need to know. Anyway.
Yeah.
I will bring this on the cruise, and
Let's
I
do
will
it.
bring the expansion. I'm going to show you, because the
Okay.
expansion has some really neat stuff in it.
Yeah, I'd love to, especially because I'll definitely want it after that, and it's impossible to get now. So
That is
that's
correct.
good. Yeah. So anyway, the things I like. Z already talked enough about it. I don't have to go on more. It's a really solid game, and it is one that scratches a very particular itch. There are no other.
Sounds terrible.
There are
This
no
is one of-
other.
This game about murdering scratches a very particular
It does.
itch.
Right. Exactly.
Have you ever wanted
I like
be a
to
serial
play this
killer but
game
get
after
away
I've
with
gotten
it?
home from a drive in traffic because I can just murder people left and right.
And then you feel better.
I feel better,
He pastes
right?
little pictures up of different people.
Oh, wow.
That's correct. I have a homebrewed version of the Bloody Inn.
Like, here's Tom Vassell.
Wow, you could do that. Yeah, you absolutely
I
could.
think that would be. That's a bridge too far.
No, you could do that in
You
this
could
game. That's easy to
absolutely do
do.
I know, but if someone did
No,
that,
you're not
like,
listening,
I have a
okay? I
custom
need pictures of like, do you have any sort of
Yeah.
passport images of you? that I
That's
can
right. We
borrow?
need high resolution images.
All right, Bloody End is not in the library, apparently.
Oh boy. All right. 54. I think it may end up on a number of lists next week.
All right, my number 54. I think has been mentioned. I forget which one of you guys. We talk all around this trilogy of games. 54 is Blood Rage for me, guys.
Yeah, I was on my list earlier. Yeah.
I haven't played it in a while, to be fair, but Blood Rage, there's a simplicity to Blood Rage and an approachability to Blood Rage that I honestly think eludes 90% of modern big miniatures games.
Yep.
They just miss it. They just don't have it. And you need to sort of dig in and pull out the rule book for all these other games and just make a meal out of them. And Blood Rage is clean and simple, playable, while still giving you that I'm a Viking wrecking shop, I'm doing all these, big mythical things. Because it's just some card drafting. And you have to decide how you want to spend the few resources and points you have. What do I go for? When do I make my move? Who do I fight? Do I really want to get invested into a combat with you? You seem to be holding some very powerful cards. I love the simultaneous selection of cards for combat, and the loser keeps their card.
Yes.
It's a minor thing. It is such a good rule.
It really is.
Because if I just saw you lose a fight, and I know what you're holding, I'm like, I don't like that you took that back. I don't think I want to get into a fight with you right now, I really like this game. Yeah, it's just a very clever design. So Blood Rage, my number 54.
All right. My number 54, and I'm going to say this 3 times here over the course of this list.
Okay.
This is another Knizia.
Okay.
And it's on my list because of a reprint, brought it back to my attention.
Okay. So this is the second time you're saying it, right?
No, I already said the other one,
You said it
Knizia.
for
Oh, you're right.
Productions.
Right, so this is the one of 4 times. This is the second time.
Okay.
But this reprint has not yet occurred, although I've seen it.
Oh,
So
I know what
this
he's
is
talking about.
Through the Desert.
I've played
It used
this.
to be on my list a while ago, and it's fallen way off the list. And I've been playing this a bit over the past few years anyway. I have a copy of it, which is nice. And anyway, but Through the Desert is phenomenal. It is a fantastic game with very few rules.
Yep.
And yet the rules are so easy, and they offer so much depth of strategy. Like if you said, let's play Go, I'd be like, but before you trounce me in Go to whatever young aspiring Gothian is going to teach me, let's play Through the Desert first. They will then trounce me in that game, but it will be closer.
Yeah.
I like how it looks. I like how it plays. It's really fantastic.
Right.
Less is more, and this is a game that proves that.
It's very true, and it's very interactive, a very interactive abstract game with some nice, again, little twists that mean a lot.
And it has that timeless feel, too.
It really does.
Through the Desert. I can show you that game right now if you've never played it, and you will not be able to tell me if it's from 2022 or 1976.
Right.
When did it come out? Was it 2000? It's somewhere around there. 99?
It was in that range.
98.
Yeah,
It is 98, you're right.
It is just timeless. It's so clean.
Yep.
The fact that it's abstract and very clean of a design, that's what helps it, right? But it is just an immediate classic. It has that sort of timeless feel.
And I will tell you, some of the little expansions that they've got in here, they're modular. They're pretty slick.
Yeah.
They are pretty
That's
slick.
interesting.
I try not to let those affect me since
No,
they're
I get
technically
it.
not out
I
yet,
get
but
it.
yeah, they are good. All right, that was my 54. Your 54, people, has been on the list for 4 years, debuted at 34, and this is a Target exclusive, or it was, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion.
Well, that got its own. People vote for that on its own. Huh?
They
That's
do. Well, I
interesting.
mean, technically, it's a different game than
it is.
Gloomhaven,
It is,
which
it
may or
is.
may not be on the people's choice.
Well, Frosthaven was on there already. wasn't it?
Frosthaven was on there already.
Gloomhaven is going to be much later.
Yeah.
So-
Wow.
Yeah, so this is great, but I mean, it introduced something I hadn't seen before in games.
The book.
Which was the book. And
That's
honestly,
huge.
at this point, I want every dungeon crawl that has campaign at all to do this.
It's a game changer, literally.
Oh, and this and the second book is really interesting. The fact that you're like, I'm going through this book, a secret room.
Yeah.
Turn to page 82 in this book. Oh, there's a secret room.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So good.
It's great.
That way you don't know the whole map.
Right, yeah. You
but
get
it's still
stuff-
easy to play.
Right, exactly.
You're
So-
54.
Hi, I'm Ala, one of the official previewers for the Dice Tower, and like you, I'm pretty excited to find out what number 53 on the list is.
Well,
Looks
I
like
won't-
it's summer there.
Yeah, I know. I won't keep Ella in suspense too long. My number 53 is new to the list, and look, I don't even. It's very hard to get. Although they did Salt and Pepper Games did a crowdfunding campaign for this, so now many more people are going to be able to play Unreliable Wizard, which is a fantastic solo.
Wait, what is it called?
Unreliable Wizard.
Nothing about that cover makes me want to play this game.
Well, that's because
What about the
you are
black?
anti-pixel is your problem.
You don't like the black?
I'm not anti-pixel.
You're anti-pixel!
I just don't want to see the pixels. Hide them from me.
You are a rabid anti-pixelite. So,
Is that kind of like a Gothian?
No, there are two different. You can't be both. The Venn
Right.
diagrams do not cross.
Got it.
the idea is that your party mates have the princess and the fighter and the rogue have all gone off to try to find something. I can't remember what they have to go away and they get lost.
Triforce.
Yeah, they get lost, and so you, as the unreliable wizard in training, have to go out and find your friends and fight against this big bad. So you're moving around. It's all card based, and it's a very small game. And you're going around this map, and you are having encounters with, you see those black cards around the outside. Those are going to be encounters you're having with creatures. And the way the game is so economical with how the cards interact with each other, so you don't have to have a bunch of cards, and you can kind of stack them, and the monsters are just a series of cards that you are trying to cast spells on. So if you see over there that little grimoire, which is also your life point tracker, tells you what your spells will be. So you'll have cards in orange, green, and blue at the beginning, and you're going to be doing a little bit of building your deck, right? But it's a very minor bit of building your deck. And so if you get those 2 orange cards, when you draw them, you're going to be able to do 4 damage in orange. And each of the creatures will have resistance to the different types of magic. And you'll know that. You'll know that this monster has a lot of resistance against orange, so maybe I don't try to do orange magic on him. Maybe I try to do blue magic on him. So I'm going to select those cards, flip them face down, shuffle them, and draw them one at a time, and see if I get the spells that I need. It is such a fun little game with just brilliant UI, user interface, the way these cards all come together. And this designer actually did a recent game that we did, that Kyrie the Duel, that duel game we did at Essen, that Lucky Duck has picked up.
Yes. Okay, it's the same designer.
What about the one we
Yes.
played last night? The Karubala.
The which one?
The one with the giant hamburger.
No, I don't think he had anything to do with that.
No, was it like that game?
No, that game was not very good. This is very good.
Well, you've sold me on this.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I mean,
That's
maybe
fine.
it's good, but
No,
when I
good.
see that look at that game, I'm like.
Well, let me put it to you this way, Tom. This game was a tiny little Tokyo Game Market release. It had, when I got it, it came in
Yes, that means you like it.
You won't let me finish. It came in a little Ziploc bag, right? Salt and Pepper Games put this on crowdfunding. It is their highest funded crowd. It's Salt and Pepper Games, higher than The Hunt, higher than...
How is the highest funding? You know there's a company out there called Steamforged, right?
You're not listening to me. It's the highest funding game that Salt and Pepper Games has done.
Okay.
That says something.
So I'm persuaded by money? Monopoly?
You're persuaded by the numbers of people who backed this game. Because this is like a $15 game.
I'm persuaded by people who play it and say it's good, not by people who back
That's fine. You're determined to not like this, so you can go with that. I'm telling you that this is a game that started very small, and I'm super impressed with how well it's done out there. And people are going to get a chance to play this. And we'll see.
I don't know.
You don't have to know. I know. 53, baby.
You're mean.
That's what we're going to have a duel.
Now you're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Back in.
I'm in for that. I don't even know what's happening anymore. My 53 was 74 last year. It's moving on up. This is a game that both Mike and I know like. This is Fallout Shelter, the board game.
That's a good game.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's talking to you right now. You're being mean to Mike Delisio for liking pixels. Okay? Let
That's
the man
right.
enjoy his pixels.
The only thing that would make
yuck his yum.
The only thing that would make this
trailer
game
for the
better is
movie?
pixels.
There's a movie? No, you mean the show, the TV show?
Oh, the TV show?
Yeah.
Did you see the trailer?
No.
It looks pretty good.
Maybe I did. Walton Goggins is in it as a ghoul. I think I saw it. Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a worker placement game. You're collecting a few different things. You are opening up more and more rooms. It's based on a little video game, a little app. And the couple of neat twists are, as you open up more rooms, other players can go to these rooms. You have your own level, but anybody can go to anywhere. You activate those rooms, but then baddies break into your little fallout shelter and they cover up the spaces.
Yeah.
You can go and fight them, and until that character is gone, that baddie's gone, you can't activate that room. They're little transparent overlays, which is pretty
neat.
cool. They kind of like you lay them over the room, and so you see a little ghoul standing there. You can't activate the room anymore. It's very simple. It's a very clean game. Small package, too. But there's more game there than you would think, and it's more engaging and interesting than you would think.
Yeah.
Really like this one. Super fun. Fallout Shelter, the board game. My 53.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is a good one. It's never made my top 100, but I think it's because I never ended up getting a copy. I haven't played it very often since we first, once we first played it.
Yeah, I played it at an event. One of our events was the last time I played it. And again, it's just sort of, it's an unassuming little box, and then you play it and go, there's more here than I remembered.
Right.
It's a fun, it's fun. It's engaging. It's more than you'd think.
All right, my number 53 was 54 last year. That was the first year it debuted. I never played the original version of this, and it's giant and massive, and it causes us to add one more item to our checklist for every convention called batteries. And this is
I know what this is.
Return to Dark Tower.
I need to play
because
this
we've
game
had
more,
multiple
too.
conventions where we didn't have batteries for the tower.
What are you doing?
But man, I complain a lot these days that I'm getting a little worn out by cooperative games, and I'm definitely getting worn out by harder cooperative games.
Yeah.
Return to Dark Tower is like that perfect level. It's not easy by any means, but it's attainable.
Yeah.
It also does the thing I want these games to do, where they're like, hey, you can go stop the bad guy, or you can go explore a dungeon, and they're both viable options.
Yeah.
It's not like you can go to the dungeon, but if you do that, you'll lose the game. And each expansion they add for this makes the game both harder and easier, which is neat.
Yeah,
you're like,
that's
I want to
cool.
add this. Oh, you get more player powers. Oh, that's awesome. But also, there's bigger bad guys, too, or whatever.
I like that.
And the app is such a cool little app of, I like to explore through a dungeon, and you click a room and you lose so many guys, and you can spend points to make that number lower. I just think it's fun. And the tower itself is cool.
It is.
It's a cool tower.
It
the whole
is.
thing is a very fun, very entertaining game for me.
What I think is so cool about it is that, Restoration, they tend to take games, from the past and make them more suitable for the modern hobby space. But they didn't just improve the tower, right? It's like, okay, that's a clear thing that we're going to show you an improvement in technology. Sure. We can do so much more than we did back then. They didn't just do that, because they did do that, but they also really changed the game.
Yeah, the tower is just kind of eye candy.
Yeah.
And in fact, sometimes even gets in the way. I'm like, so what's going on
a
over
little
there?
Bit, a little bit.
But the tower is not my favorite thing about the game. I think it's the exploring through the dungeon, and that little card system is so good.
Well, we just had Isaac Childers, too, who worked on this.
Right. And and we had Justin at the beginning of the list from the publisher.
Yeah.
All right, so your number 53, people, was 33 last year and 65 the year before that. Third year on the list. And I think this is interesting because if you hear talk about this, you would think it's not that popular compared to its older brother. And it's not as popular as Terraforming Mars. But Terraforming Mars, Ares project.
I'm very surprised by this.
Expedition.
Very surprised, because this was on your list too, right?
It is. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect other people. I mean, part of it was very easily available.
Yes.
There was a Kickstarter, and it was available on Target.
Right.
I remember going to Target, and it was on an end cap.
Yep.
And I was like, wow. I don't know. It's just enjoyable. I have a lot of fun with it, and I guess a lot of people do too, because it's on the People's Choice list 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it came out during kind of like the height of Terraforming Mars frenzy. It was readily available, and it was inexpensive compared to the base game. I think all those things helped it a lot.
And easy to find.
Yep.
So there you go. That's your number 53.
Hi, I'm Anthony.
I'm Francis.
And we are
Ant Lab Games. And this is number 52.
It's not Nucleum. Nucleum was very
I saw that.
there
I
in
still
the
haven't
back.
played Nucleum, actually. I have not played it. My number 52 is down a fair number of spots, down 35 spots. I still like the game a lot, but in a weird way, this is almost suffering from the thing that people are giving me all kinds of grief about with Dune.
Tom's giving you grief about that.
No, my number 52 is Everdell. Okay, and
yes,
this is one where
this is too popular to be on your list.
Yes, exactly. This is too easily available to get on my list. But I'm still super charmed by Everdell. The things that I've liked about it have stayed consistent, which is basically the combination of the worker placement, the open market, and then your kind of fixed size tableau in front of you. That leads to some nice decisions. I know some people don't like it, but I really like the fact that people can be in different phases at the same time. Sure. That to me is a neat element of the game. It gives it a pacing that most worker placement games don't have. And so I like all that. But once I got the big box, I pretty much stopped playing it.
I know.
But that's not faulting the game. That's not faulting the game. But I basically I got rid of the big box. I'm going to reacquire the stuff I like, which is going to be the base box, and I like
spider stuff.
I like the spider stuff, and then one other expansion. Yeah. So it's really
funny.
good.
I think that's a very true thing. There is a correlation there. Happens for me certainly as well. Yeah. And it is. I really like something, and then I go get an expansion, and it sees a little less play. I get another 2 expansions, and it definitely sees less play. And you get a big box like that, and it never comes out.
Yeah.
There is absolutely, for me, again, a correlation there of just accessibility, I guess.
Yeah.
That big box is too big. I'm sorry.
It is
too
a
much.
monster.
But I want to make it clear, that's not why it went down on my list. It's just that it wasn't getting played as much. Sure. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll come back up again as I play it more because... I'm going to try just doing what I said and get the certain things I like.
Well, I just saw, I forget who it was who just asked if you have played Everdell Far Shore, and I wanted to ask you that as well.
I have not played that.
Because I think, well, 2 things I think about Everdell Far Shore. It's just comparing it to Everdell, it does again that 1.5 thing.
Okay.
And I think it's a better game.
Okay.
I also think it's a cleaner game. They've cleaned up some things that make the game a little smoother now.
Yeah.
And I also think it's just way too expensive for the fact that it's basically Everdell. I'm not even going to go 1.5. It's like 1.2.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's too expensive for what it is if you have Everdell. And if you don't, it's still too expensive.
Right.
But especially if you have it. But I think you should try it because I do wonder if you'll like it.
I'd be happy to try it.
It's some great stuff in there.
Okay.
All right, my number 52 was not on my list last year. I don't know if it wasn't because it fell off, because it's not that new. But it wasn't on here last year, and that is Cascadia. It's probably because I've been playing a bunch. It seems to hit the table at a lot of our conventions.
It does. It's a very easy one to pull out and say, let's try this. Yeah,
I'm probably playing with people that know how to play already, for one thing, because everybody seems to know how to play already. And you can just knock this out in 25, 30 minutes.
Yep.
Do your quick scoring there. It still gives you a nice amount of tactics, things to think about. It's got a nice, quick pace to it. This is a solid design. Again, it's one of those workman-like designs for me, which gets in there, does what it sets out to do without too many bells and whistles, and delivers an exciting and engaging experience. Really like this one. The expansion I thought was good as well, but you certainly don't need to worry about that. Cascadia, if you like tile laying, you like drafting, you like that sort of special ability scoring and looking for patterns and making patterns happen, this is one you want to check out. My 52.
All right.
My 52 has been on the list for 5 years, and this is the highest it's gotten.
Ooh.
It was 62 last year, jumped up, and I know that's partially because I now have an expansion I'll never play without. It's a crossover with, I think, Mike, and that is QE.
Nice. Yeah,
I
need
love
to play
this
the
game,
expansion.
and I'll never play without the expansion at this point. The expansion really filled in a hole that I think the game had. And I just love this. I love the idea. When I very much, you can go back and listen to the podcast when Eric Summer explained this to me, and I said it sounded ridiculous and stupid. So there's hope for you in your duel game.
Yeah.
I eat my words a lot when it comes to my first impressions on games. But I love this. I love the idea of bidding. I love seeing how much I can push the game. Like, I just need one player to bid higher than me. Come on. You know it. And it'll finally bid 16 million, and I've already bid 32 billion. But still, it's so much fun. I really like
It's
QE.
really good, yeah.
It still sounds really dumb.
I get it. I get it.
It does sound dumb.
The People's Choice 52 has been on the list since 2014, where it debuted at 20. Last year, though, it was at 81, so it's moved up, and I have no reason why. It's still the lesser popular of the two, Caverna. Caverna is still very popular, though. A lot of people really like it. I got a chance to play it, I don't know, in the past year at some point. Just so much stuff to get. I played it at the World Series of Board Gaming.
Because I don't ever see this getting played.
It's been a while for me, for sure.
There's something about grabbing a pile of resources off of space. And I really enjoy that part of this game. There's a lot of cool choices. And that little send your dwarf off on missions is very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So you're 52, Caverna.
Hello, Asdrubal Safatis.
Hey, I got to see Asdrubal again.
Asdrubal again. He's a.
On that to switch it.
I am okay with that.
Right back.
Okay.
Hey there, Travis Chance here. Thanks for thinking of including me, Tom and company. We're almost halfway there, guys. Number 51.
Was he possessed there when he said the number? His eyes rolled in his head.
Play the Asdrubal clip again.
Yeah, let's go back to 61.
I need a palate cleanser. I'm just kidding you, Travis.
Yeah, Travis, part of that Dark Providence game that I'm pretty excited about.
I know.
The
I am
redo
too.
of Studying Emerald.
Everything old is new again.
That is true. And that's a perfect segue to my number 51,
Thank you. I knew that.
which is new to my list, but it's Thunder Road Vendetta. Oh my goodness, has this game been a hit. And I will tell you, for one reason or another, when this was announced, I was like, okay, I don't really care. I have no connection to the original game. I'm sure I played it as a kid. Didn't leave a big impression on me. And man, did this game hit me like a ton of bricks. First time I played it was live on screen here. And you know, sometimes...
Was that with Tom spraying his mouth?
No, it was before that one.
Okay.
It was before that one.
Remember that, Tom?
I do remember that.
Yeah, I was in that. I was in that game too. But this is one of those games where, you know, like in live plays, we always want to come with a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But this one, that was easy, right? Because this game is just an adrenaline pump to the veins. And the thing I always say about this game is that if there's a choice that I'm going to make on my turn, and it is do the thing that's least or that's most likely to get me to win, or to do the thing that is most likely to get me to go into the side of a mountain, I'm going to take that choice.
I'm with you on that.
Because that's what this game, it lets you do such ridiculous things. It's like, yeah, I may go directly into the side of a mountain, which is also hilarious, honestly, but this might let me ramp into that next ramp, which lets me do this crazy thing, and if I pull it off, everyone goes, whoa, right? Even if it means you're going to maybe win.
Sure, right.
Everyone wants to see what happens. It's a cinematic game. It is a dice chucker, 150%. If you're looking for strategy, this isn't your game, right? If you are looking for wild, fun, you know, a lot of times games try to be that. It's like, this game is crazy, and usually it's not.
The fake explosions
right? It's
on the
usually
TV
not.
commercial.
This game is that, and it's not by accident. This is such a smart, streamlined, clever design that does feel fresh, but it also does feel like it could have come from the 70s.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Everything
yes,
they did is great. The production, and it doesn't even have to be the Maximum Chrome edition, the retail production is great. Such a fantastic game. I played this with my kids. They immediately wanted a copy themselves. So Thunder Road Vendetta has been a huge hit. To debut on my list at 51, that's saying something.
Yeah.
You know, and it's probably going to go up.
I think it will go up for me too. It's on my list at 127, and it's on the People's Choice at 121.
Yeah, I think this game has
People's Choice. I guarantee will be on next year.
Because it was hard to get for a while.
Yeah.
All right, my number 51. was 81 last year, but not really. It was a different version of the game, and I've now sort of supplanted the original printing for one that just gives me more fun, and I just have a better relation to. The original 81 was Horrified. My 51 is Horrified American Monsters.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
I just like this theme better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's weird. I really like the original theme.
The original theme is fine. I just don't have any connection to it. I'm not as old as you. You know, I wasn't around when these movies came out.
That's fair.
And so it's...
He was looking past me at you, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, I was talking to you, Tom.
Wait, what?
For being mean. You were around when they invented pixels.
When
Okay? That's why you don't like them.
When
They
Z was
remind you of your past.
When Z was a kid, it was all about the chupacabra. So
I'm all about the chupacabra, okay?
Survive tonight.
So while I like Horrified, I think it's a very good game. Horrified American Monsters here gives me just a more relatable sort of time frame, you know, and like the characters I feel a little better about, like, oh, I need to go and rescue Joey at the, you know, or Sally at the gas station and do this and do that. And then the monsters themselves are just more fun to me. The gameplay, basically the same thing. This cooperative, very interesting, very simple to play co-op game with a healthy dollop of pick up and deliver in it.
I was going to say, yeah, you don't see a lot of co-op games built around pick up and deliver.
Right, right. Which is why I like it when cooperative games have a big part of them be something else, you know? Pick up and deliver, or, you know, push your luck co-op. You know, stuff like that. They do other things. And this one has a lot of that. I like it. It's pretty easy game to play, pretty easy to beat also if you want it to be. And I love the way in which you adjust difficulty in this game. It's so clever. There are however many monsters come in the box. You want to have a pretty easy time, play against 2 of them.
Right.
You want to make the game a little tougher, play against 3. You want to go crazy, play against 4 at once. I love that. That is so clever. The system doesn't strain at all. It's all built right in. You just ignore symbols for monsters that aren't in play.
Right.
Boom, done. I think that's so clever. This is a hit. If you are a fan of cooperative games and have maybe overlooked this one because it's mass market, you should try this game out.
No, it's a good design.
Number 51.
All right, my number 51 has been on the list for 4 years. 28 last year, 51. This is a Euro-style worker placement game that I really love, even though the name almost stopped me from playing it initially, and that is Whistle Mountain. Because I thought it was.
This is a good game. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that again, but yeah.
Yeah, but just but again, I almost feel like saying it every time, just in case someone's played Whistle Stop. Like, this is a completely different game.
It completely, to me, is why I never would have played this if you didn't teach it to me and say, look, don't even think about Whistle Stop. I think you're going to like
it.
This.
It also doesn't look great.
It doesn't.
It's not a great looking game, unfortunately, which is odd because a lot of Bezier games do look pretty good. This one is. But I just like the idea of you're building this gigantic dam, and you will go onto the dam spaces on the.
Go ahead.
In the game. On the tour. Anyhow, thank you, Brian, for the super chat. Anyhow, but the way that you build that, spaces become awesome. Go there and get more resources and put things around. So that's my number 51. Whistle Mountain.
The last pick of this video.
People's Choice has been on the list since the very beginning. It debuted in 2011 at 9 and is now 51 and is actually only 2 spaces better than Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition.
Terraforming
Race for the Galaxy. Well, that makes sense. But Race for the Galaxy. And this one I'm actually impressed with because this is a game that was super popular 20 years, well, not 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just don't hear as many people talking about it. In fact, it's one of my go-to games to teach people at cons. I'm like, I bet you haven't played Race for the Galaxy.
Right.
And I want to teach it to you because it's great.
I guess at this point, a lot of people haven't played.
And I think the best way for someone that's never played the game before is to learn it, is to be taught by somebody that knows the game well. Because this game has a barrier to entry. That is the only thing that I think is negative about the game. It's a really good game. Other than if you play against somebody of a different skill level, you're going to get destroyed.
Well, depending on how they play, but yes.
Right.
To be fair, I think now, this is a weird thing, but I think the barrier to entry for Race to the Galaxy has gone down.
It has.
Because so many games that use some of its ideas and mechanisms are
Right.
out there.
That's true.
I was
It's a
actually
lot
gonna say the
easier to
same
be like,
thing.
have
Yeah.
you played this or that or
Right.
that?
It's
Yes,
true.
then this barrier just got lower.
That is true.
Yeah, and I even think that the iconography that we used to get on it for iconography, compared to many other games, isn't that bad anymore.
Games just have gotten more and more complex.
They
you
have.
know?
Yeah, so this is an easier one to teach. Now, to play it well and stuff, that's trickier, but yeah.
And it's funny, too. Two people that know the game well, you can get a game done in,
Oh, it's so quick.
man, it's lightning
It's
fast.
Very quick.
All right, so that is, we're now halfway. We're halfway through the week. We're halfway through this list. We're halfway through Zee's life. Because you're 40, right?
Yeah, if
Yeah,
I make
okay.
it to 80, I'll be very happy, actually.
Yeah, okay. So
I'm okay with that. I'm okay
we'll
with that.
see you all in a few hours at 2 o'clock.
Maybe. We're having that duel. It might only be two of us.
What's going on?
I don't know.
The threats!
There'll be a pixel throwdown. Okay?
Oh, it's just a pixel thing?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Game
All
over.
right, all right.
Sorry, come back, you said.
Yeah, 2 o'clock. Also, check out our Kickstarter.
Yes.
Come on, we want to fund. DicetowerKickstarter.com.
I really want to go to Iceland.
That's not really going to happen, Mike, you know.
If we get $1 million,
If
I
we get
bet.
$1 million, none of
I
us care about
swear upon everything, if we get $1 million, I'll send Mike to Iceland. Okay?
I promise you, the people of the world. I didn't want to say American people.
Hey, we got to get going.
Yeah.
We'll see
Oh, yeah.
y'all. I'm Tom.
My Mike.
I'm Zee.
Woohoo!
Bye.